At the last couple of NEC shows, Knaus has had a really strong presence, with funky vans such as the Deseo and the Sport and Fun. But of course it has one big drawback: the doors are on the wrong side for the UK market. Or at least they were. For 2016, Knaus has brought in the new StarClass models, and as you can see, their doors are on the correct UK near side. I caught up with importer Mike Lake to find out Knaus's plans for the UK. So Mike, tell me a little bit about the motivation behind the StarClass.
StarClass, Ellie, is very important to us. The UK market is huge. It's the biggest caravan market in the whole of Europe. And what we would really deeply like to have is a small percentage of that market, just a tiny share. Knaus is about quality. StarClass is going to be probably one of the most expensive offerings in that sector of the market. And StarClass is aimed firmly and squarely at British and Irish consumers.
Is it difficult to sell Continental caravans to British buyers?
By tradition, yes, it has been. Continental caravans are manufactured for a huge variety of markets. So as a factory, or a series of 4 factories, which in fact we are, we build a range of something like 67 different layouts, all of which can sell quite easily in 20 plus countries. In the UK, it's different. We like our doors on the near side. We love smooth aluminium, so we can polish it on those rare days when the sun is shining. And there are certain fixtures and fittings in the van that for us are essential, and for some of our continental cousins, they just really don't understand why we fit them.
So at the moment there's 2 in the range. Are you planning to grow that in the future?
Yeah, definitely. When we talk to you again, hopefully before October, but when we see you in October at the NEC show, there'll be 4 more StarClasses. And at a different market sector, there may be some Weinsberg product offered as well, which would be genuine small starter vans aimed again at the UK consumer.
And how big is Knaus's ambition for the UK market?
Knaus as a company are planning for, not this year, but for next year, to manufacture close to 20,000 leisure vehicles. The good news for Britain is some of them will be coming here. How many? Nothing like 20,000. I would think perhaps 200 or 300 in the first year would be a lovely target to hit.
Well, thanks very much, Mike. Now I'm going to go and take a look at the van. This is the new Knaus StarClass, and if you hadn't already guessed by the fact that the door is on the near side, there's a small hint on the side that this van is aimed squarely at the UK market. It's priced at around 25 grand, so this is a van that's looking for luxury buyers. But there's plenty of kit to take into account. I love the fact that on the outside here we've got this simply massive external locker. You've got a Truma blown air outlet and a TV point and a 230 volt socket. It rides on a BPW chassis rather than the more familiar Alco variant, but there's also a hitch stabiliser and trailer stability control and a rather natty set of alloy wheels. I must say, I think it's a really good looking van, but let's find out what it's like inside. So if you were in any doubt that this is a luxury caravan, just check out this lounge area. There's simply massive panoramic sunroof overhead, and I rather like this marble effect table that pulls out of the front chest. I will, however, say that if there's more than 2 of you using this caravan, you might want to consider swapping that front chest for an additional seat at the front, because it really does feel quite tight for any more than 2. Another look at the option list reveals a few more luxury extras. You can get leather upholstery here, you can get a roof-mounted aircon unit. But the main thing to point out is actually it's really very comfortable in here. These sofas are sprung and really deeply padded. Although I think if you want to make a bit more space, taking out the end bolster will really help. It's in the kitchen where you really notice the difference between a proper Continental caravan and a Continental caravan made for the UK market. For a start, we've got a separate oven and a separate grill. We've got a 4-burner hob with an electric hot plate, and we've got a simply massive refrigerator and separate freezer. It's huge. None of your solitary 2-ring burners in here. There's also masses of storage space. Look at this huge cupboard up here, and these fantastic drawers which have a really slick soft close action. There's a separate sink with a built-in drainer so you don't have to put it away, and there's also a reasonable amount of worktop space, so there's no need for a separate lift-up flap. The only question I have is that microwave. Even for me, that's a bit high, and it's directly over the hob, which is not ideal for everyone. However, there is a standard microwave, again, not the Continental norm. Moving back to the master bedroom, it's pretty conventional. We've got a fixed near side bed, we've got the usual pull across screen, and a wardrobe which is actually pretty large, bigger than normal. What's really unusual, however, is the size of this bed. It's absolutely massive, which is great news if, like me, you're taller than the average bear. And back here, we've got a vanity unit, which is rather a nice touch, with a large cupboard underneath. If you're feeling short of storage, which really you shouldn't be, there's 4 overhead lockers, and under the bed, an absolutely cavernous space, which is also where you'll find the freestanding table, which is not ideal if you don't fancy lugging it forwards every time you need to use it. That said, that front chest-mounted table is a pretty good size. The washroom isn't the deepest we've encountered. It does feel a little bit restricted, certainly for changing clothes, but otherwise it's very well specified. There's a domestic-style bathroom cabinet and a really good-sized shower cubicle, although headroom is restricted by the curvature of the rear roof. One other thing to note is the fact that there's a Dometic loo in here rather than the more conventional Thetford. The thing that has always held back continental manufacturers in the UK market is the fact that their layouts are so alien to the British buyer. With the StarClass, Knaus has pulled off a neat trick. It marries the familiar UK layouts with that Germanic fit and finish, and it'll be really interesting to see how the British buyers take to it.